Back here on CBS Sports HQ on the clock, presented by Jeep with the 7th overall selection. New Orleans Pelicans select Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma. Point guard was SEC All-Freshman last year, ranked 7th among D1 freshmen in points per game, assists, and steals this past season. And look, Pelicans need to hit on a draft pick. They need to get it going here. They really do, because they've had such high expectations with Zion, with Anthony Davis. Of course, AD is gone. He's in Dallas after multiple trades there. But now Jeremiah Fears headed to New Orleans. Back here in studio, Adam Finkelstein, Gary Parrish, Avery Johnson, and Matt Norlander along as well throughout the hour here on CBS Sports HQ. Our coverage presented by Jeep. As, look, we're at the 9 o'clock hour. We've had the first 6 selections. Number 7 is Jeremiah Fears. A lot of people like Jeremiah Fears. What is your grade for this pick?
Yeah, he had a chance to go as high as number 5 tonight. I'll be honest here. I'm skeptical. And let's be clear, Fears is one of the most polarizing prospects in this draft. If it goes well, this would be an A. But there is bust potential, in which case it would be an F. So I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to give it a C and round up to a C+. When you take a guard like Fears, who has incredible burst, is a paint touch waiting to happen at this point in the draft, you are saying that you believe he has a chance to be your primary creator in New Orleans. I see Fears, the most likely outcome, being more like an instant offense type guy in your second unit. And I have major questions about how a guy who doesn't shoot it well from 3 and is a little ball dominant fits next to Zion Williamson. So I don't love the fit, and I think given the archetype, it's a really risky bet here at number 7.
The fit is a little risky because the obvious thing to do if you're trying to still build around Zion Williamson is just surround him with as many shooters as possible. So when you use the 7th pick on the draft on somebody who just shot 28% from 3 in his 1 season of college basketball, that hammers home everything Fink's saying. But take that, set it aside. On my board, this was the best player available. He's very difficult to stay in front of. Like, put the ball in his hands, you're going to have a hard time keeping him from getting those paint touches Fink talks about. But the question is that shot. Now, there's some other numbers, the free throw percentage, that suggest there is some touch there. But if he cannot develop into a real threat shooting the ball from that backcourt, then like Fink said, this will be too high to take him.
So if you're a Pelicans fan, which I don't know a ton of Pelicans fans, I think I know like one, are you excited about this selection, Gary?
I can get excited about it because I think...
What grade would you give it, Gary?
Like, this is the part I would struggle with giving grades in a previous career. This is who I had best available prospect on my board at this moment. In fact, the first 7 players who have come off the board tonight are the first 7 players I had in my mock draft. Different order, but the same 7 players. So yeah, I think this is the best talent available. I can get excited, but I understand why Fink and others would be skeptical because the shooting concerns, they're real concerns.
What if you motivate him? What if he looks at you and goes, Adam Finkelstein gave me a C+ on draft night, and you know what happened with Tyrese Halliburton? Unfortunately got injured, but the whole poll about him being underrated, and he turned into, I'm not saying he's turned into a superstar, but he turned into a star this playoffs. Like, these guys will listen.
Yeah, zoom in on me for this part, okay? No one will be happier than me if I'm wrong here, okay? When you're the guy who does the rankings throughout high school and then you do the draft stuff too, you want to be wrong. You want these guys to prove you wrong. I want Jeremiah Fears to be great here. I'm just skeptical of the process of drafting a paint touch point guard with a low finishing rate in addition to the shooting concerns who needs the ball in his hands. He's a high volume guy who has not proven that he can acclimate to playing with less volume with the ball in his hands. Those are my concerns. I hope I'm wrong.
And another area of concern would be he only weighs 180 pounds. He's very thin, and if he doesn't get stronger, and most 18-year-olds do, but he's going to have to really fill out his body or else that becomes complicated for him on the defensive end of the court.